This is the average hockey fan here, and Price 315 says, I just whooped your ass. Carey Price with a huge win. Detroit follows to Montreal 3-1 in what was a really good goaltending duo. Looking at the score, you say, maybe it wasn't a goaltending duo. Well, it was. It came down to a 2-1 game and an empty netter for the Habs to win. Detroit had lots of good chances. Anthony Ciu was flying all over the ice. He had Detroit's only goal. But as far as opportunities, goal scoring was, Detroit had a good few opportunities. They did come to play tonight. You may not look at it as you look at shots and hits. Yes, the Habs had more shots. Yes, they had more hits. Yes, they dominated face-off percentage. But you look at the game, you actually watch the game. As far as quality scoring attempts and a close game, Detroit was really, really in this game. They had some scary chances in the first period. If Detroit had to get out to an early lead and Price wasn't standing on his head like he was, they could have easily won this game, but thankfully they didn't. The Habs didn't play bad by no means. There were a few defensive breakdowns in their own zone that I didn't like, and they had a bit of trouble getting it out of their own zone when Detroit was coming in. They were causing a lot of turnovers in their own zone, but other than that, it was an all-around good game for Montreal, and Carey Price gets the franchise leading wins record at 315. He passes Jacques Plante. He's number one all time as the Habs. Get that man a cup. Anyways, guys, Montreal 36 shots, hits 26. Face-off percentage, 59.2. Power play was over 2, but if you watch this game, you had to be excited about what you're seeing from this power play. Right off the hop, they had beautiful set plays. They get it behind the net to Drouin. Drouin kicks it out to Deneau. Deneau with a golden opportunity. He just couldn't score on it because Jonathan Bernier had one of his better games of the season. I'm sure Bernier's pissed that he didn't win this game. This is now 10 losses in a row for Bernier. It's not looking good for him. Their penalty kill was 2 for 2. Carey Price had a non-50 save percentage. He stopped 20 of 21 shots faced. Detroit had 21 shots. They had 24 hits in the game. Their face-off percentage was 40.8. Obviously, they were 0 for 2 on their power play. And their penalty kill was 2 for 2. So Montreal's penalty kill has been really good lately. And Detroit's penalty kill was really good in this game, too. Because Montreal had lots of good opportunities. Well, actually, Detroit's penalty kill wasn't good. I can't say their penalty killers were good, but Jonathan Bernier was really good on the penalty kill. He stopped some quality attempts, and he shut down Montreal's power play. Again, their power play gets shut down, but it looked very, very promising tonight. Compared to what we've been seeing the past 10, 15 games where they can't even get it out of the neutral zone. They can't get it up. They're causing turnovers. Teams are getting shorthanded chances against them. Compared to what we're used to seeing, this was a very promising power play. It was in their own. It was in the other team's zone the whole while. They were making set plays. They were getting nice point shots from Weber. They were getting nice shots out from the net from Sean Deneau. So they were making progress for sure. And with how bad this power play is, it's good to at least even hear that. As for Jonathan Bernier, he had a non-40 save percentage, and he faced close to 40 shots and he had a non-40 save percentage. So the guy had a good game. There's no way this is on Bernier. Non-40 save percentage, stopped 33 of 36 shots. Now, as for the first period, there was no scoring, but there was some plays I'd like to talk about. Tyler Bertuzzi had a beautiful breakaway. Price stopped him with the toe. It gets flicked up the other end. Immediately to Target's a breakaway. He comes up. He fans on his backhand. He was trying to move. Bernier stops that. Bernier had a really, really good save on Deneau, point blank in front of the net where Drouin kicked it out in front of him. And Price had some solid saves in that period, too. He had a nice save off a backhand, really nice glove save, nice blocker save where it bounced off his blocker, hit the nub of his stick. So he had some nice saves in that period, too. It was a chippy back-and-forth period. It was a goaltending duo is what it was. Now, into the second period, it takes a bit of a while for a goal to get scored, but it eventually happens. Domi gets a tip-in goal off an Andrew Shaw wrist shot. It was a nice wrist shot. It wasn't going to beat the goalie. Domi manages to get the stick out there. It goes right up over Bernier's shoulder. No goalie on earth is stopping that. Nobody on earth is stopping that with that amount of reaction time. There was zero reaction time. That was a quick shot, and that was over Bernier's shoulder before he knew what hit him. I was surprised when he did that myself watching it. 17:32, or also Shaw and Tatar had the assists on that, guys. And then 17:32 into the second, Brett Kulak showing he shouldn't have been a healthy scratch last year. I would totally, any day of the week, take Brett Kulak over Mike Riley. Mike Riley has better foot speed. He does have a nicer wrist shot, but Brett Kulak has a better hockey IQ. He's a better all-around defender. He can skate with this team. He's a bigger body, and he got one hell of a slap shot from the point, and he produces more offensively. Tatar and Galley had their assists on that slap shot, and it was at 17:32 of the second period. Third period, right off the hop, 40 seconds into the third period, Anthony Ciu scores what I consider an ugly goal. Detroit fans would call it a beautiful goal. 3 Habs defenders draped all over him. Two Habs defenders had their stick in front of his stick while he was dragging the puck around, coming down towards Price. About 10 feet in front of Price, they should have either dragged him down to the ice, took a penalty if they couldn't get the puck off his stick, or did what they just did something better than what they did. Blocked the stick check, blocked the shot, did something. But somehow he manages to get a nice wrist shot through, and it beats Price clean 5-hole. Detroit gets their first goal of the game, and it looked like Detroit was going to come back after that because they really, really pressed hard after they scored that goal. But with 19 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game, 49 seconds, the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, Montreal did do a good job shutting it down defensively. Detroit wanted to pull their goalie prior to this. You could see Bernier wanting to leave the net, but the Habs would not let them leave their own zone. They did a really good job holding them in their own zone with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. They killed off about 35 seconds, pinning Detroit against the boards in their own zone. When it did eventually come out and it had another face-off and Detroit finally got it out, there was about 1 minute and 40 seconds left when they pulled their goalie. They weren't in the Habs zone for no more than 25 seconds. They didn't get a quality attempt off, and Domi got the puck. The puck flies up to Domi. I believe it was Weber or Wheel passed to him. Wheel had another good night tonight too. Had a couple of good scoring opportunities. Domi's flying up the ice. He looks like he's going to foul and not get the shot off and not get the easy empty netter. But as he's fouling, he gets the shot off. Typical Max Domi style, heart and soul, not giving up on the play. And he scores that empty net goal. And that was at 19:11 of the third period. And it was assisted by Wheel and Weber. And the Habs win the game 3-1. Not a huge win. It is a huge win points-wise. It's good to see them get the 2 points. Columbus and Pittsburgh both won last night, so they didn't make up any ground. They're in the exact same position they were before. They're not back in a playoff spot, unfortunately. And Columbus played Boston. I did think Boston was going to beat Columbus, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But Montreal won this game. They got the 2 points. Not the biggest win in the world, but a huge 2 points for sure. Next game is the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm pretty sure it's Chicago. It may be the New York Islanders, but I'm pretty sure it's Chicago, and then it's the New York Islanders. So these are winnable games. The Islanders one should be a bit tougher, but the Habs should be able to rattle off a few wins. And to see Price play like he played tonight, and hear the things he's saying he wants to get teams off the team that's off the bubble into the playoffs. He feels he's good enough to bring this team down the stretch. Watching his post-game interviews was great. It was the happiest I've seen Price in forever, and to see him with this kind of confidence down at the end of the year. When Price starts playing like this and he has this kind of confidence and you can just see his game forming the way it is, you know he's a scary guy to go up against and he can steal you games. So whether or not their scoring depth continues, they can keep guys like Domi hot, they can keep guys like Tatar playing well, they can keep Galley scoring. That's yet to see. I'm sure they can, but no matter what happens, I truly believe Carey Price can get them into the playoffs. He can put this team on his back. He can steal games. He can get shutouts. He can win you 1-0 games, 2-1 games. He won this game for the Habs tonight. They could have lost this game easily if Price wasn't on his game like he was, because Detroit had at least 10 quality scoring attempts out of their 21 shots. They had 3 or 4 breakaways. This was a stolen game by Carey Price, and it was great to see. And it was great to see guys like Domi have another good game. Domi and Tatar are Detroit killers. Tatar once again gets a star. He would believe he was the second or the third star in this game against his former team. So his former team, I should say. So it was a good night all around for the Habs, guys. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tune into my Blackhawks review video. And feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the game. For me personally, I was pumped. I know it was a low-scoring game. It wasn't nothing like the 8-goal game they had last game. It wasn't all Habs. But hey, it's good to see Price have a game like that. Sometimes it's good to see your goalie, your star goalie, really step up and prove everybody right when they say he is the star he is. And he is. In my opinion, him and Vasilevsky are the best goalies in the world. I used to always say Carey Price is the best in the world, hands down. But Andre Vasilevsky deserves to be up there now, too. So, in my opinion, the best goalies in the world, if there was a goalies you were going to pick to win one game, if it came down to one game, you'd want Andre Vasilevsky or you'd want Carey Price. A lot of people are probably going to say Vasi now because he's younger, he's really hot. He's going to win the Vezina, in my opinion. But I'd still take Carey Price any day of the week. Good to see him get that 315th win. Carey 315 says, I just whooped your ass. That's a Stone Cold Steve Austin reference. Yes, it is. Former WWE fan. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Stay tuned for the Blackhawks video next game. Woo! Habs win.